Hey everyone, it's Zainzabar here, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Artifact Challenge skins again. This time, not the skin itself, but the variants. So obviously, as you all know, once you unlock the hidden artifact skin, doesn't matter what one it is, any artifact skin, there will be different variants, you have to do different tasks to unlock these variants. So far they've all been relatively easy. They've been things like complete, I think it was 200 world quests while using the hidden skin, then there was complete 100 dungeons, and achieve 1,000 honorable kills or something like that, and then that unlocked across all specs on that character. That was for the original hidden skin. The challenge artifact skin also has 3 variants. This time it's defeat Heroic Kil'jaeden, which might be a bit difficult for some people, but I'll get into that in a minute. Kill all Legion dungeon bosses. Now that's actually a bit misleading. You don't have to kill all dungeon bosses, you only have to kill the end bosses, and it's not for all dungeons in the game. You don't have to do lower or upper Karazhan, but all the other dungeons you do, so all the dungeons at launch basically. And that's how to unlock 2 of the artifact variants. The last one, this is the big issue. This is the reason why I'm making this video. You have to win 10 Rated Battlegrounds using the Artifact Challenge skin. I think my biggest problem with this is that, for one thing, I'm not a PvPer, so I can understand why this obviously isn't going to be a problem for all people. Some people love PvP, some people love PvE, like me. I'm mainly a PvEer. I do some PvP on the side. Normally I like PvP, but I'm not enjoying doing these RBGs. I think that's mainly because I have to do the RBGs alone as I'm a PvEer. I don't have any friends in the PvP circle. Last season of WoD, I did get up to a pretty high arena rating. I think it was just shy of 2,000 or something like that. So I'm not PvP illiterate, really. I mean, I'm not the best, but I'm not terrible. I do know my class pretty well. But because I did that with a very close friend of mine, who I speak to him pretty much every day, so we just jumped on together and we just said, hey, you want to get the mount? So we got his cousin involved as well. We got 100 3v3 arena wins to get the mount, and that got us a pretty high rating, because we're all pretty decent at the game itself. But that doesn't mean we're good PvPers necessarily. None of us understand the metagame, and we don't understand CC targets probably as well as we could have. That probably led to a few of our losses, but I digress. Apart from those 2 friends, I don't have anyone who would be willing to do RBGs with me, and even then, neither of those people wanted to do RBGs with me. So I pretty much have to do this alone, which means using the LFG system to find a group for RBGs. The LFG system is a godsend for many reasons, but I normally use it for PvE content like Mythic Pluses and Raids, and that's my circle. I've got all the achievements, I know what people are looking for, I know how to talk to people in that. That all makes sense to me. PvP, there are buzzwords I don't understand. I'll freely admit that. Like I said, I'm not the best at PvP. So I just have to queue for a random group and hope they just accept me from whatever they see at face value, which probably isn't very much with me. I don't enjoy doing that. That's not really who I am. A Mythic Plus at least is pretty short, but you really have to team up in an RBG. It's much more team focused. I don't enjoy being forced to do PvP content. If I want to do a PvP match, I'll jump into just a normal battleground and I'll just screw around for a bit, maybe try and get a few achievements, grind up a bit of honor, marks of honor, get some PvP transmog gear, something like that. But I don't enjoy being forced to do Rated Battlegrounds, which maybe they're not, but to me they feel more stressful as well. Now of course, the other side of the coin here is that PvP players probably aren't going to be killing Heroic Kil'jaeden anytime soon. But the reason why I think there's a bit of a disconnect between the 2, in terms of a direct comparison, is that PvP players will be able to go back in, Tomb of Sargeras, the raid after that, the end of the expansion, when everything's up, they can just quickly go and kill Kil'jaeden. There'll probably be pug groups going for it. That's how I got my heroic Archimon kill at the end of WoD. But they might be able to go back and get it with some friends. It probably doesn't take too much organization when they're going to be much higher gear than the content they're supposed to be doing. But RBGs always move with the times, so I can't go back and get it for free. There is one saving grace to this, however. It's only 10 RBGs. As of doing this video, I've won, I think, 6. So I've only got 4 more to go. And I'll admit, when I originally planned on making this video, I just wanted to shit all over this, shit all over Blizzard, forcing me to do PvP, and I wanted to complain and moan and whine. But I have found it a lot easier than I thought. So while I don't enjoy being forced to do this, I do appreciate that Blizzard at least decided to make it on the lower end of the spectrum, I suppose I could say, that I only have to do 10 RBGs, I only have to get into 10 winning matches. And that's not that difficult a task if you think about it. I haven't had much time to play because I've been swamped with uni, so I've played, I think, a few hours here and there, and I've gotten 6 wins. And that's not bad, that's not half bad at all. So I'll get another 4 and I'll be done, and I can either stop doing RBGs, or, you know, I can keep going if I want to. I think Blizzard decided they wanted to force people out of their comfort zones with this. I think they wanted people to get in and see what RBGs are, you know, and maybe what Heroic Kil'jaeden is, if they get the challenge skin. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but this is a pretty soft, watered down version of RBGs. I understand that. I'm an experienced player. I recognize that pugging a group is not the same as experiencing it the way it's meant to be experienced with a team. Team of people you know over time, team of people you trust, team of people you can laugh and banter with, and hopefully get some wins along the way, of course. But this was sort of the argument against LFR when it came out, I think, was that people didn't want people to experience the watered down versions of the raid. There's nothing in it of any value. You can't call yourself a raider if you complete LFR. I mean, maybe that's a little bit elitist of me, but I don't think you can, because it's not the same experience as turning up to a raid night and wiping on progress over and over and over and over and over again. You know, I've got a lot of deaths on Heroic Kil'jaeden. Never got to Mythic, but a lot of deaths on Heroic Kil'jaeden, because that's what our guild was progressing on. That was the rate I was happy with. But that's what we were progressing on. That's what I've died on a lot. And if it's just not the same as LFR. I did LFR Kil'jaeden in 2 seconds, you know, that wasn't hard. It's the same thing with RBGs. LFG RBG is, you might as well just have said, win 10 normal battlegrounds. I don't understand why Blizzard decided that it had to be 10 rated battlegrounds. I really don't understand that. I think it's a bit ridiculous that they put that stipulation on there, because I don't think it helps anyone. It doesn't help people get into rated battlegrounds. If someone wants to do a rated battleground in a team, they're not going to get it. Not from this artifact challenge. They're going to have to find a guild that does team-based content, and they're going to have to work at it, and they're going to have to turn up on certain nights, and it'll be like raiding, but for PvP, I assume. I don't really know, I'm not a big PvPer. So if that was what Blizzard's intent was to sort of try and get some people out of their comfort zone, I don't think it succeeded. I don't think it's going to make anyone go, hey, I really love these rated battlegrounds, because honestly, it just feels like a normal battleground. I think it's a failure. And you know, because I'm not just about whining and complaining about the bad things, I do want to try and offer a solution as well, and maybe have a discussion with you guys in the comments. If anyone's watching this, go ahead and leave a comment, say if you disagree with me, say if you agree with me, we can have a discussion about it. But because I want to promote that discussion, I have an idea to what I would have rather have seen. Instead of, say, kill Heroic Kil'jaeden, I would have liked to have seen something like that's a bit more attainable for PvP players. People who won't necessarily be stepping into Heroic Tumasar Garrus anytime soon. I would have liked to have been something like, I'm not sure, for example, complete 50 10+ Mythic dungeons within the time limit. That's not exactly the easiest task that could have been assigned, but it is PvE focused, so that gives PvP players another taste of PvE. It's small group based, so they don't have to go out of their way to get a raid team together or whatever, or buy a carry if they're into that. They can just pick up 4 friends and they can go do some Mythic pluses, or they can pug it if they want. That's easy. You know, I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly that either. It could have been something like that. So that way, it's still a PvE focused task, and you can either do that. But then I also think they should have given the option to do the original thing as well. So some players obviously they grind out Mythic pluses day in, day out, so they're going to be able to just get that in 2 weeks. They're going to get that. That's fine. That's done. But then players who don't necessarily want to grind out Mythic pluses, but they are PvE focused, they can do the Heroic Kil'jaeden as well. They can get that. They can get the same skin, and it won't show anyone which one you earned. You know how you earned the skin. It won't show did you kill Heroic Kil'jaeden or did you complete however many Mythic pluses dungeons. And then I think the same thing should have applied to the Rated Battleground system. I think it should have been, instead of RBGs, maybe arenas. You only need 1 person for arenas, and you can queue. Or they could have just done regular battlegrounds, win 50, because it's probably easier. You just sort of have to jump into a queue for a battleground. You don't have to think about it. You can do it mindlessly. So I think that would have been a better alternative to the solution, where PvE players who probably aren't great at PvP, like myself, I'm not too great at PvP. I think it would have offered those players an alternative to being forced to go into Rated Battlegrounds, which is pretty much just like a regular battleground when you're doing it through the LFG system like I was. But then it also allows the PvP players who do RBGs all the time, they get that artifact appearance almost for free, because they're going to be doing that anyway. So yeah, that was my thoughts on the video. Sorry if it seems a bit rushed or if I'm a bit all over the place. I'm pretty busy with uni, so I just wanted to make a video and just talk about some observations I've had just about this topic. So thanks anyone for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, or dislike if you didn't like the video. I'd love to know if you think I'm an idiot, but please use nicer words because I might cry. So thanks everyone. Bye.